Hey folks, welcome to another VR video. Today I'm playing Darknet, and I'm actually going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to start out on PSVR, and then I'm also going to show you the classic Darknet on Gear VR. I don't anticipate there's going to be any differences, but this is my first time playing on PSVR. And this is the first time I can also share on Gear VR, because my old Gear VR was powered by a Note 4 and it just couldn't handle streaming the game and playing the game at the same time. This is one of my favorite classic VR titles, so I'm excited to see what it's like here on the PSVR. And then, like I said, we'll finish up with a small preview as well on Gear VR, just to show if there's any play mechanic differences or if it's the same thing. One thing already, Archaeax logo is new to Darknet. They have started distributing it on multiple platforms. I saw that it was also available on Viveport M in China. That's unfortunately not available yet in other countries, and I think it's only a preview still in China as well. This is a classic E. McNeil game. He's also made a couple of other games for the Gear VR and Rift platforms. But this is the first game he's got out on PlayStation VR. Interesting how it doesn't do that tunnel. That may have been a comfort issue. So the whole game is really just hacking these nodes to try to get to the So, as you can see, there's a bunch of blue squares here. These are antivirus programs. You want to hack this kind of central core of the node with these viruses. Now, you can start out with one virus. What happens is, as you're hacking, what happens is, after you've started, this path kind of lights up. And if it reaches one of the other antiviruses, it triggers it. So let's see what happens here. And we were able to capture it. So we're going to try this one because it's worth a bit more money. So you'll see what happens when the virus hits the other antivirus. I believe you'll see that. Oh, it didn't on this one yet. Now this first series of hacks just teaches you all the play mechanics. We'll get through this whole thing before we switch over to the Gear VR, but then I'll show you just kind of the subtle differences between the two. So hydras are where you get a lot of bank in the game. Check this out. Boom. Lots and lots of money. So as you can see, until it gets to shielded, they all got captured, and then over here, of course, they're not yet captured. So let's go ahead and select one of these. And I should be able to turn a little bit here. Let's see what happens. I'm going to select this one, and you'll notice that it's going to get captured probably. now I'll select this one, and this one probably will too. Yeah. Oh no, we failed. So now if we just hit the back button, we can start over. And we'll do this and this at the same time. See what happens. Boom. So a little bit of strategy in the game. That's good. That's what I was worried about. So now I don't have to worry about turning a different direction. You'll see this one over here. That's the main root node over there, and then this, of course, is a sentinel. So we've got a bunch of different levels of access we can go for. What we're going to do now, buy ourselves another Hydra. Got lots of money, why not? Now we'll go ahead and go with this one. We'll capture all of the unshielded in this area. It's a lot of unshielded. So now we're going to go to the right a bit more. I think I'm just going to go with these two to start. There we go. They both actually hit it. Now it's not costing me any money to lay out the 2 viruses that I just bought. I can actually buy 2 more. See? I agree, they're my most important purchases. Let's buy 2 more. Let's also buy 1 Hydra. Because again, it's a quick pattern to get a lot of money quickly from the unshielded cells. So let's go. Wow, not a lot of unshielded here, so I think we're going to actually start chipping away at some of the ones that are shielded. Let's see here. This one's good. Alright, so we're going to go with those 2 to start. Actually, let's go with those 2. That might already capture it, might not. Yeah, it didn't. That's okay. This one next. That's good. Now this one should clear it. Because there's no real opposition here for this one. And as you can see, that's the strategy with using 4 viruses, is you can actually clear out some of the antiviruses using the viruses and then deploy another one to actually capture the node. Just got that one. What I want to do now is, looks like exploits are not yet. Oh wow, I can buy more viruses. That's cool. No. I don't want to go for the root yet. Too many shields so far. Yep. So let's try a sentinel here. This is going to be an interesting one. I'm going to try from this one to start. That clears that out. Let's try this one next. Let's try this one. Now let's do this one. It should work. Let's see. So even with that shield, because we didn't actually hit either of those green blocks, we were able to capture it. And I noticed that I was able to get 5 viruses. I wonder if I can get 5 on the Gear VR. Let's try an exploit. I don't know if I can use an exploit on everything. So as you can see, that got rid of the last shield on root right here. And now we're going to go ahead and try to attack the root node. Now this one is going to be tricky. As you can see, there's a lot of real estate. So let's start with this one. This one. Let's see how far that gets. I don't think it's going to get very far. Let's do this one, and I'm hoping that neutralizes those, and then this one can go unopposed through the whole network. Boom. And so we got root. We get 2 Bitcoins. We're downloading data. And that's Darknet at a whole. Right now my skill rating is only 25%. I captured the data within the time limit. I didn't have any skill rating change because that was just a tutorial level. And I got 2 Bitcoin out of the deal. I currently have 6 Bitcoin. I have a bunch of different things that I can purchase with those as upgrades. Different slots. There's a bunch of different news here. And I can go do additional hacks. Now, I'm not going to do any additional hacks right now. But I wanted to at least give you the feel for what the game is like on PlayStation VR. There's a bunch of extra stuff here. Like if I go to the right here, we've got coding right here. This unlocks additional funds and additional cheats and things of that nature. And then we've got, of course, enable, restart, and disable the tutorial. I'm actually going to be enabling the tutorial on the Gear VR so you can see some of the slight differences. But overall, it's a very similar game. Like, the gameplay does not change. Some of the things, like there's a tunnel at the very beginning of the game. That's really the only major difference. And then, of course, the control scheme. With PlayStation VR, I'm using a DualShock 4 controller. On the Gear VR, it's just tapping the side of the Gear VR. But I'll be going over there for a few minutes to kind of show you some of the differences, show you that the gameplay is very similar across both platforms. This is available for around $10, totally worth it, whether you've got a PlayStation VR or a Gear VR. But I'll be back in just a moment with some Gear VR gameplay so you can see some compare and contrast in these two titles. Alright, so now we're going to jump into Darknet on the Gear VR. And you'll notice a couple subtle differences. Again, Darknet loading, no Archiac logo. And of course, we're touching the side of the Gear VR. Now this is the part that was cut from the PlayStation VR version, which is one of the cool parts. This tunnel at the beginning with a bunch of zeros and ones. I'm assuming it was a motion sickness inducer of some form. Again, we've already done the tutorial on this one, so you can kind of just see the menu again as I move around. I don't think I can swipe to move. Oh, I can. So I can swipe to move as well. So it's very similar to the controls on PlayStation VR. That's cool. I'd never tried that before. I've always just turned my head. So I'm going to go ahead and reset the tutorial so you can see that it's essentially the same game. Restart tutorial. But of course the Gear VR version is a bit more portable.
You have been contracted to retrieve data from a secure network. First, you will need to hack a vulnerable node. Look at a small node and select it to begin.
So now to select, you're just tapping as opposed to hitting a button on the PlayStation Pad.
Is a virus. You can inject the virus into any of the blue antivirus programs. To begin hacking, select an antivirus program.
So we're going to go with this one.
To capture this node, the virus
and then we'll select the node.
into the core, shown in yellow. Select the core to inject the virus. The virus has successfully reached the core. This node and its monetary assets are now under your control. Press the back button to exit the node.
So it still said back button even on PlayStation VR, even though of course it's the buttons on the PSVR controller. So very similar in every way, gameplay mechanics.
Additional funds, which you can use to purchase software. Press the back button to open the menu.
And everything else works exactly the same. Some of the transitions were purple on the PSVR, I noticed, as opposed to blue. That's the only other real difference I can tell you between the Gear VR version and the PlayStation VR version. I do miss that tunnel at the beginning on the PlayStation VR version, to be honest, because that's one of the things that's like it draws you into virtual reality. But that's essentially the only differences between Darknet on Gear VR and Darknet on PlayStation VR. If you've got either platform, I encourage purchase of this title. It's under $10. It's one of the most fun games I've played in VR, and it's a classic in VR. It's one of the first things I could actually play and demo at expositions and things of that nature, because this is a visionary title from Ian McNeil. So, hope you've enjoyed this week's video. I'll be back with more content soon. Get out there and enjoy some VR for yourself, whether it's on Gear VR, whether it's on PlayStation VR, Vive, Rift, Google Cardboard. If you have access to Viveport M, strangely, for some reason, you can pick this up there and play it on pretty much any phone that's compatible with Google Cardboard. Fun title, great time. Get out there and check it out. Check out VR for yourself. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.